remember the last time I saw women just beat into a bloody pulp in the middle of a wrestling ring.
And that's why I say this is the turning point of women's wrestling. This is a match where there was no winners or losers. They both went over. They both looked like superstars.
This was about being the face of the women's division in AEW. And I think the match itself showed that. Britt Baker sacrificed her face to be the face of the company. Like, I know. Ace, I'm telling you, my mind is blown with the storytelling here.
This is some Zack Snyder type booking. Ladies and gentlemen.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the weekly finisher. My name is Beefy Supreme.
Beef Supreme!
And to my left is Ace Styles.
What it is, what's good? It's your boy, Ace Styles.
And we are back, baby.
We're back.
We are going to talk all things AEW, maybe some WWE sprinkles in there.
Ooh.
And I expect some fireworks today, Ace.
Fireworks. But we are back like Eric Bischoff being in the WWE Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in business. And we got a huge episode for you guys tonight. Let's go ahead and get right into the news. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, baby. There is nothing better that I have seen in 2021 than the bloodbath that we witnessed this week, Ace. Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, AEW Dynamite main event. Thoughts?
Let me tell you something. If I was Gordon Ramsay, that match would have gotten 5 stars. Michelin stars, ladies and gentlemen. Michelin. You know what? Let me tell you something. When in a female wrestling match, have you ever seen women being busted open and doing what the guys do in terms of hardcore matches? Go ahead, I'll wait.
If I was Gordon Ramsay, I would say that match was raw.
Was raw.
Perfect raw match, baby.
Big fact. And I'm not saying that boring Monday Night Raw match. No, I'm saying this is an amazing match. Let me tell you something why. The storytelling, the way they would end the blood feud that happened in this feud, this is a match where there was no winners or losers. They both went over. They both looked like superstars, megastars. Seriously.
I feel like I debated whether I was going to put over Thunder Rosa today or Britt Baker, but you know what? This was a team effort. We all end up winning after this. It started off as a regular match, and we knew it was going to be unsanctioned. We knew it would be a hardcore match. I didn't expect it to get that level. I don't remember the last time I saw women just beat into a bloody pulp in the middle of a wrestling ring.
And that's why I say this has changed. This is the turning point of women's wrestling, because this goes out to Sasha Banks. This goes out to everybody. They paved the road, and they still paving the road today of what is women's wrestling. But this match is by far one of the best hardcore women's matches I've ever seen. It was like I can't give more praise to Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Seeing that crimson mask that Britt Baker was wearing, it felt like I was watching Stone Cold Steve Austin being when he had a crimson mask against
WrestleMania 13 shades, baby.
It was just so damn good. I am still like, if you go back and rewatch the replay of it, you're like, oh my God, this is the pinnacle, the pinnacle of women's wrestling.
We're not there yet. I was reading some comments on Twitter, and I there's so much depth to this match. We could keep going like back and forth on this because it's so good.
Yeah.
So this was about being the face of the women's division in AEW. And I think the match itself showed that. So Britt Baker sacrificed her face to be the face of the company. Like I know. And Thunder Rosa only colors half of her face. But by the end of this match, her whole face was painted. So she also became the face of the women's division. Ace, I'm telling you, my mind is blown with the storytelling here.
This is some Zack Snyder type booking. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I didn't even think about that is perfectly, beautifully. And that's why I say there was no winners or losers in this match. They both came out as superstars. They both showed that this women's division is not to be messed with. It's not to be taken lightly. And granted, we were all set. We even said on the show, we said, yo, the women's division AEW hasn't been that great. Hopefully we can get great. We shut up now. Why?
It's not even shut up. This might be one of my favorite matches of all time. Like, by far,
of all time?
This is the best match of 2021. No doubt about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Better than Sasha Banks match.
It's so funny. I am a Sasha stan. And Sasha,
you are.
To me, she still has some of the greatest women's matches of all time. Matches of all time.
Yeah.
This is, to me, this became the best women's match I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
It goes up there with greatest matches of all time.
Whoa!
No one expected this. This was a classic. This was like showing up. I don't think people remember how much people hated when Heath Ledger got casted as the Joker. This is showing up to see The Dark Knight and seeing a masterpiece in front of you. I sat down on my ass and I was like, okay, let's see what they got. And I got a masterpiece in front of me. You can't top this. No one's going to top this match.
That metaphor you just throw out is perfect. It is so perfect. This is the Heath Ledger match of the year. And I say that because you're right. We went into saying, oh, they were going to put on a match. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. It's all right.
And we came out saying, my God Almighty, what a match. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, this wasn't live. This was a taped AEW Dynamite.
You don't even, and again, it reminds me of how iconic things are. When Stone Cold helped Mankind win his first title against The Rock and everyone went wild on Raw, that wasn't live either. And you know what? When something isn't live and it still captures you like this match did, that's Gordon Ramsay chef kiss. Mwah.
I agree. I have nothing but praise for this match. I can't wait to see because now it puts a statement out in the wrestling business, not only in AEW but in all of wrestling. Now it's saying, "Yo, this is what we did. Now it's your turn. How far
now
will
it's
you
everyone's
go?"
turn to step it up. Like
it's
I said,
up.
It's March. Last year's match of the year was the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Hangman, and that was in February. We're in March, and we just had the best match of the year. We'll see if anyone can top it.
And arguably, it's going to be a tough match to beat.
It's going to be a tough match, baby. And so that was the highlight of this week. So another thing that happened this week, MJF, as we saw last week, got kicked out of the Inner Circle, and they went all out. They went all out against the Inner Circle. They treated them like government mules, man. Like they beat the crap out of them. But this week, MJF came out and said, I have a name for this group. We are the pinnacle of wrestling. Ace, do you like the pinnacle?
Let me tell you something. The pinnacle. If you look at just the resumes of these gentlemen in the ring, if you look at FTR, if you look at Shawn Spears, if you look at MJF Wardlow, this is the greatest faction. This is Evolution, what Evolution needed to be back in the day.
What are you talking? Why are you like
this is the pinnacle of professional wrestling. You have arguably the greatest tag team wrestling of all time. You have Shawn Spears, who is arguably a pound for pound best technical wrestler they have right now in this business today. One of the most underutilized, just people who don't give him enough praise. He is pound for pound a great wrestler. Then you have MJF, and he says it perfectly himself. He is 26 years old.
Is he 26, 24? I don't know how old this kid is, but
he's young kid. And he's already breaking barriers and breaking the glass ceilings and arguably becoming the biggest heel in professional wrestling today. And then you have Wardlow, who already can go in the ring, an athletic beast in the ring. What more could you want in a faction?
I want results, Ace. What the hell are you talking about? You're telling me this group is better? First off, you said that this is what Evolution should be, which is absurd. I don't even want to get into that. But the group they beat up themselves, the group that they faced off against, is arguably the biggest group in AEW history.
No, you're right.
The Inner Circle completely took wrestling by storm when they came out. And you're acting like the Pinnacle is anything special. None of these guys, I'm just going to throw it out there. None of these guys have any gold on them. None of them. Shawn Spears has yet to win a meaningful match in AEW.
Yeah.
MJF has yet to become a true main eventer. FTR has yet to deliver on their promise to being the best tag team. And also, there's no stealing here. There's no the term glass ceiling stands for people that have been oppressed and trying to rise above a certain ceiling that were put against them. Specifically women. Like women got a ceiling put against them and you try to come above it. 6 white guys in the ring is not a ceiling. These guys are a bunch of wannabes who are trying to be the 4 horsemen. They're trying to be Evolution and they're not.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I'm shocked here because so you're telling me they have not won you over. They have not won you over.
What did they do?
They beat up. Did you not see the beautiful cinematography that we watched? MJF stepping on Chris Jericho's hand while he was reaching out for the bat.
You are acting. You said this is what Evolution should be. Have you lost your mind?
Okay. That was me blowing smoke up their butt. Okay. Okay. I was trying to put them over. All right. But look, I'm saying this, and the only reason why I said this is because it reminds me of an Evolution. That's why I feel like the Pinnacle is. It reminds me of Evolution of the old stars and the new stars, and it is. And these are the pinnacle of wrestling. These are arguably the greatest wrestlers that we have in the business today, and that's what they're trying to put over. And I think they are, and they're trying to go against, like you said it, the biggest group in AEW history, arguably. The Elite are no more. The Bullet Club is dead. So who do we have left? We have the Inner Circle. So who is the biggest faction in AEW? Inner Circle. And the Pinnacle want to be that top faction.
No, that is very fair. You're right. There's no big cliques right now, and so the Pinnacle has taken over. But to me, it's kind of like, you and me experienced this golden age of TV. This is like when Breaking Bad and all these great shows were going on, and then they finished. And so then the Americans started winning awards. Don't nobody want your B shows, all right? At the end of the day, the Pinnacle is the biggest group right now because we don't have anyone else. I will say the Inner Circle, they were able to turn. We just talked about WrestleMania 13. They were able to turn. Somehow, Jericho's going to come back with the crowd, fully behind him. Yeah,
and that it's so crazy to me. How do you take a faction that was so heel, and then you flip it on a dime, and now it's babyface? That's so. I'm telling you, TK knows how to book. But I'm telling you right now, what a match! And I'm telling you, they need to bring back Blood and Guts. This match needs to be in Blood and Guts.
I want to see some Blood and Guts. You're right. TK knows how to book Dynamite. He doesn't know how to book pay-per-views.
Jesus! Oh, Jesus, we're not going to get to that.
No, but I feel like I've spoken to some friends of mine, and some people are excited for the Pinnacle. I just feel like they haven't earned me. Again, none of them are wearing any gold. Yeah. None of them have really accomplished much, honestly. Yeah. And I feel like Tully Blanchard is a legend, but you need a Ric Flair in there. You need someone that's a little more accomplished in there to try and elevate the group, because otherwise, I'm not buying it. I think when the Inner Circle comes back, they're going to destroy the crap out of that.
Whew. Well, I right now I am sold on the Pinnacle. I'm really to see MJF versus Chris Jericho. This is going to be a good match. This is good. It's to see who's, we talked about Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa to be the face of the women's division. This is to be the face of the faction, the face of who runs AEW.
No, you're right. And that feud is going to end up pretty nicely. I'm looking forward to that. That's very fair.
Well, I like that. I like that a lot.
We haven't seen Blood and Guts yet, but we are getting quality matches every week. And this match, this week was not the exception. We got another great match with Cody versus Pentagon, featured on AEW Dynamite this week. What a great match. I don't think I've seen Cody wrestle like this in a long time. And Penta is starting to get some opportunities. Ace, do you care for this? Do you want to see what happens from this?
Can I just say that this week prior, but last week, can I just say it was so healthy. It was so good to hear a full, authentic Spanish promo being thrown by Pentagon. It is so weird because you're conditioned WWE to they have to speak English and stuff like that. When I heard Pentagon giving me that promo of a lifetime in Spanish, I got goosebumps. The Hispanic in me said, let's go. You know why? Because I felt it. And then Alex Abrahantes giving him the little translation, hitting that SAP button to help the English people who don't know how to speak Spanish, give him a little bit of what's happening. Yo, I loved it. I loved the presentation. I've been calling Pentagon one of the greatest luchadors of all time. He is, along with his brother Ray Fizz, which I arguably think he is better. But that's neither here or there. But Pentagon, What a match. And I love me some Cody Rhodes. But you are 100% right. This was Cody Rhodes' biggest match, in my opinion, in terms of, can you wrestle, my guy? Can you prove yourself to go toe-to-toe one of the great luchadors? And let me tell you something. He pulled out all the stops.
It was good. It was nice. I want to say, Penta just opened a store here in Pasadena with his brother Ray. I got to stop by, man.
Wait, no. He opened up a store?
They opened up a wrestling store, and they show up every now and then and take pictures with fans. I'm telling you.
What? Okay, you see, if you would have told me this a while ago, I would have flown. I would have given the ticket ASAP going over there. So you need to tell me these things, ladies and gentlemen.
No, Penta's a busy man, and Penta was mad. He lost the match, and he beat up he lost the match, right?
Yeah, he lost the match. He lost the match.
But you know what? He went after his shoulder, and he went hard. Penta is not going to stay down for long. Penta,
no.
You're right. His promos are epic. They remind me of him at the Temple back in Lucha Underground.
Yes.
He sounds great. But what I found interesting is, we haven't seen Penta with the Triángulo de Muerte anytime soon, so I don't know where that is. But Cody has his group, the Nightmare Collective, and when they came out to help him, QT Marshall is still being problematic, man.
And this was a running thread that was going on with AEW Dynamite this week, is the fact that the Nightmare Family, and this is the issue going on with all the Dynamite. We saw FTW, the whole situation with Brian Cage pushing out Taz and telling no, let me talk because I'm tired of you talking.
Yeah.
And then we had QT. A lot of factions there's a lot of dissension gone in the factions, and you brought a great point. Where is Penta and the Cero de Muerte? I have no idea. But I tell you one thing.
Triángulo doesn't have Penta in it, man.
It doesn't, but I tell you one thing. Cody Rhodes needs to watch his back. Because if he's over here messing with a family that's not a unit, the Triángulo de Muerte is going to come after your butt. Now, you don't want that. Because trust me, you don't want the bastard back coming after you. You don't want Ray Phoenix. Let me tell you something. I love Cody Rhodes, but he can't handle Pac. He can't go one-on-one with Ray.
No, he can't. And by the way, like we're talking about this match, we don't have time to talk about every match, but Pac and Ray Phoenix are tearing it up. There's so much talent going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. I find it interesting that all these groups are kind of, they're falling apart a little, man. And it reminds me of like high school. Like everyone has their cliques, everyone has their groups. They don't always last.
Oh, I like that. It's AEW high school. Everything goes crazy. That's that drama. That's that drama we love.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, besides the quality wrestling this week, again, going back to Revolution, we have a new person in town, a legend in the wrestling business, and his name is Christian Cage. Yes. He made his debut at AEW, and this week he announced why he's here. He said he mentioned the praise that he got from Jon Moxley, and he mentioned how everyone considers him a legend in the ring. And he feels like he even said, I'm not taking a step back. I'm a main eventer. Yeah. Do you like this?
I was listening to the podcast with Renee Paquette. Shout out to Renee Paquette, a friend of the show. And then I was also listening to the Chris Jericho podcast with Paul White and Christian Cage. And I got to say, at first I was very skeptical because I was like, what do you offer? And again, it's that thing where we look at these old guys and we say, oh, they're old. And I did the same thing with Goldberg, right? But I look at Goldberg and I say, well, you're out of your prime, but Christian can still go. Christian is still healthy. I feel like we always look at Christian as being the B-plus player, and not in a good way. We always see Edge as being the superstar, which arguably he is. But Christian can go. Christian can still go. And I feel like even Jon Moxley said it. Christian is so underutilized and so undervalued in the professional wrestling world because he brings so much to the table that we don't know. Psychology, the wrestling matches. Hell, his matches in TNA were really great, but we never talk about it because we always just put it in the back of our mind. I think he's going to be a great addition.
Christian Cage was huge on the SmackDown roster once he went on the individual market himself and he started wrestling on his own. And, they wouldn't push him, and he went to TNA, and he proved why he's a main eventer. Like, there's no doubt about it. Christian is phenomenal. Yeah. I think the question is, can he deliver? because you're right, Christian. People forget he was one of the last 4 at the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah, like, just this year.
So obviously he can go. You're not wrong about that. And we're gonna talk a bit about the fallout from Revolution and the Tony Khan criticism. But Eric Bischoff came out this week and said he kind of criticized Tony Khan as well, and he talked about the Christian Cage debut, and he said sometimes you have to manage expectations. I don't know if we should have advertised Christian Cage the way we did, because he's not a Rock, he's not a Stone Cold. But should we hold that against him? I don't know. I have differing thoughts. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, let's break that down then, because here's the issue. What did they really say, right? And this is why the internet is such a great thing, right? All Big Show, all Paul White said was, there's someone coming on AEW Revolution. That's it. And that's all he said. He said, there's a big name coming to AEW Revolution, and that's it. That's all he said. And right then and then, it's CM Punk. It's John Cena.
Okay, that was you. That was you.
No. It was me. And I'm saying this because that is the point of promotion. You got to do that as a promo. We took it and we ran with it. We heard one line, someone big is coming, and we automatically thought CM Punk, John Cena. The list kept going.
I had Conor McGregor showing up.
And you had Conor McGregor. So realistically, was it TK's fault? Was it AEW's fault? Or was it the fans hyping
no, wait a minute.
Or was it the fans' point, hyping it up to the point where we were trying to make it the biggest deal? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. They never said, they just said someone is coming.
No, okay, first of all,
speculated.
When you promote something, you have to deliver. So you're right. You're right. On paper, the announcement was just, we signed someone that is Hall of Fame worthy. They're showing up at Revolution.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
The problem is it came from Paul White. So this is like if I just signed The Undertaker and then The Undertaker makes his debut and he's like, someone else is coming next week. Wow, man! What? The Big Show was the Big Show going and becoming Paul White in AEW was the biggest news of that week. Like it was huge.
Yeah,
and so for him to come out and say, "You guys, this isn't even about me. I got someone else." Come on, man. What? How are you gonna act like? Come on.
I mean, okay. Realistically, it should have been the other way around. It should have been Christian coming out first and Big Show. But again, it is our fault because we overhyped it. It's almost like the gobbledygooker. Oh, the egg is gonna hatch. The egg is gonna hatch. The egg is gonna hatch. And it hatched. And it was a gobbledygooker.
You can't blame fans for getting excited when you promote something. I'm not saying then when you under-deliver, you can't say like, "Ha, suckers." No.
Okay, first of all, I don't think it. Okay, granted, Christian, it is what it is. He came out. Okay, I get it. But it is our fault for expecting something to be incredibly amazing, and it wasn't. Hell, I mean, look at DC. DC is a prime example. We go and watching Batman vs Superman, and we think it's going to be amazing, and it comes out being trash. Again, that's DC for you.
Do you blame yourself or do you blame DC?
I blame myself because I went there thinking that I wanted something amazing, and I knew.
I'm not tired of you.
I'm just letting you know what happened.
Well, going back to it's been a crazy 2 weeks. And this week we got to see more of the evolution of the friendship between Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
I love this relationship. I can't believe how over they have put Eddie Kingston through this. Like, it's so good. I'm rooting for him. I'm excited for this. And now you have a new tag team. We always talk about tag teams and groups. So going back again to Revolution, what are your thoughts of this whole thing and where we are now?
I want the fans of the show to clip this real quick and really comment because here's the situation. I think it was almost a month ago. Your very own Beef Supreme came on the show and said he doesn't like Eddie Kingston. He even said
no. Before we start clipping, I said Eddie Kingston's not a main eventer. Put it on the record.
Okay. Go back and watch it, ladies and gentlemen. Go back to episodes ago and you'll see exactly what he said. I just love that he now is an Eddie Kingston fan. His situation.
They won me over. That's what happens when you book things. No. When you book things correctly, you win me over.
When you book things correctly. Shout out to TK by the way.
I know, great Dynamite episode.
right, I do love Eddie Kingston and I do love John Moxley. Their promo with the whole fiasco with the bomb going off. He sold me. How well do you Eddie Kingston is so essential to AEW, and I say this because anytime he goes out there and does a promo, he delivers it, and then we believe it. Right?
He's been carrying, he carried Butcher and the Blade. He carried, he's been doing such a phenomenal job and putting so much passion. And, it's not a detriment. Whenever I say, Eddie Kingston has to earn me, I was a huge X-Pac fan, but I didn't see him as a main eventer. No, honestly. You have guys.
No, I know.
You have guys that sometimes are, they're mid-carders, and sometimes that's not their fault. Sometimes it's booking's fault. But Eddie Kingston, to me, didn't feel like he was ready when he was main eventing. Yeah. And to me, this is perfect. There's a relationship there, and he gets put over. And now I even told my wife at home, I was like, I like him. I like him coming. I like him coming out in the main event. I like it won me over. But I will say, are we gonna act like Revolution was not Are we gonna act like Revolution did not screw the pooch here?
It screwed the pooch. Okay, and I'm not, and I'm AEW's biggest supporter, right? I love AEW. Okay, but they did screw the pooch. Now, granted, more information came out. Apparently, they did test it and it worked fine. But then when they went in the main event, it went awry. It was a very, very hard situation. It was really, really bad. Okay, there's no one to blame here except. There's no one to blame here except for malfunctions that happens, and it just happens. It just happenstance. So it happens. That's it.
Okay, well, I will say, in every job that I've been, if there's a screw up, someone gets reprimanded. Someone gets fired, or someone gets suspended, or someone gets in trouble. Who gets in trouble for the fiasco that happened?
I don't know. I don't know if it was the tech. I don't know if it was somebody else. I don't know. Happens. If they figured out what happened, if they knew it was a rigging situation, then that person should be the blame at it. Okay, so we'll see what happens. But I'm just saying, no fault goes to TK because it happens.
You know what it was to me? I feel like you're a forgiving AEW fan. You're a loyal fan.
I am.
And I'll give you that. But you know what? This is people's hard-earned money. People
pay
People pay $50 to see a spectacle. And the spectacle promised me that someone was going to explode in the ring, man. There was a countdown. There was a whole thing. To me, this is the biggest botch in all of wrestling history.
Okay, that's too much.
No, it's not.
That's too much. That's too much.
All of single wrestling history.
Oh, my God.
It leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth because no one's going to talk about the great barbed wire match we witnessed.
No, you're right.
And I think that's unfair. That's unfair for everyone. And I think TK, he screwed the pooch here.
I don't see it that way. I'm not gonna get into the argument with you about it. But just know, happenstance happens. It happens. It's not I wouldn't call it the biggest botch in wrestling history. We had the finger poke of doom. That was the biggest horrible thing.
Okay, so here's my thing. To me, a botch. It's like watching. What's your biggest botch in your opinion?
I think the biggest botch.
Not any injury related. I mean, in terms of storyline telling.
I think the biggest botch in story that I would have to say the gobbledygooker.
So this is why I don't see the gobbledygooker as something huge. No one got affected by it. There's no main eventers that got affected by it. The promotion didn't suffer a main event fiasco. It was stupid. And it sucked, but no one really suffered. Here, you have your two biggest stars in your rising company, two of the biggest stars in wrestling history, in one of the biggest wrestling matches ever done, in one of the most sacrificial, bloodiest matches you'll ever witness, and it got ruined. This is going back to the Dark Knight. This is like watching the Dark Knight, and then it ends with the Joker playing with some kids and taking them to daycare. This is the equivalent of that.
But here's the issue with that, okay? Here's the issue with the fiasco, okay? I get it was a blunder. I get that it was arguably the biggest botch in wrestling history. But here's the issue, though. That one little botch does not mean that the entire pay-per-view was trash. It does not mean the entire main event was trash. You can go back. No, it does not, fam. And I'll tell you why. There is no other match in this history, in this business, that did what they did. Moxley and
no one
Omega went out of it.
Hey, what is your favorite movie?
Right now, it has to be The Dark Knight.
Okay, so again, if The Dark Knight ends with Batman going to get a falafel, and then he goes on a picnic date with the Joker, and they're like, "Oh, wasn't that funny?" If that's how The Dark Knight ended, it would ruin the whole movie. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do the previous 2 hours. It doesn't matter. I saw a Robert Pattinson movie that was great. It was phenomenal. No, it was so good. And you know how it ended? He went to a building, and then we realized that that's a building that went down in 9/11. Like what? Like you can't screw up endings because it ruins the whole movie. Here, it ruined the pay-per-view.
I get that, but the issue is that you guys. My issue is that you're pointing it to the fact that it ruined the whole thing. It was a mistake that happened. Cut it some slack. It happens. This isn't like a situation where it's like a storyline problem. How many times have we watched WWE and we said, "Oh my God, why did they book it this way? Oh my God, why?"
No. There's a difference. There is a difference between booking. There is a difference. There is a difference between booking. We could have disagreements on booking.
Yes.
I have never in my whole life seen Vince McMahon have a technical screw up to this level ever. He wouldn't allow it.
You're right. You're right.
Because that is an embarrassing. If I am a boss and I am in charge of a company, that is embarrassing. And I am embarrassed. Vince McMahon would never allow that.
And I understand that, but this isn't TK's fault, and this isn't the company's fault. It was a mix-up that happened. How are you going to tell me? If you mean to tell me accidents don't happen in the workplace, accidents happen in the workplace. This was a random accident that happened.
That's fine. If accidents happen in the workplace, you get sued. And you know who gets sued? The people at the top. At some point, the person at the top is in charge of everything that trickles down. Yes. It's a mountain. And the person at the top of the mountain is responsible for all the crap they throw down the mountain. TK is in charge of this mountain. He bears responsibility. He should be embarrassed by this display. And honestly, very borderline close to shutting down the company based on this.
That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So you mean to tell me that this is ridiculous. How many times has Apple, the biggest company of tech producers, have to roll back an issue or send you an update because your iPhone's being glitchy or because your iPhone does that?
So tell me.
These technical situations happen.
Yeah, technical issues happen all the time. Tell me the biggest blunder that Apple suffered in one of their rollouts.
They had that's a good question. I have to go back and actually look because I don't have that.
Exactly. You don't remember because they're just basic blunders. This was a huge blunder.
Like, it was a basic, but that's my thing though. These are basic blunders because it was a firework that did not go off properly.
It wasn't supposed to be a firework. It's supposed to be an explosion of a bomb. So again,
yes, and the explosion of the bomb did not go off as going. We've seen the reports. It happened. They tested it before the match. It went off great. They did it during live event and stuff happened. It's live. Stuff happens.
So what happens to planning a plan B or a plan C? I've been around entertainment for years, and you plan contingencies. What happened to the rest of the plans? You're right. It didn't work out like it did during practice. So then do you not have something in plan in case that doesn't work out?
Here's my issue. Here's my issue. Okay. When a quarterback tries to throw a Hail Mary, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. They tested it before in practice. It didn't happen in the live reaction. Did they have a plan B? They did. The plan B happened on Dynamite. They said, "Hey, you know what?
No.
It was happened, and it happened." It was.
No. That's trying to salvage whatever's left. That's not a plan B. A plan B is that day. Also, if you're a quarterback and you throw a Hail Mary, either the quarterback or the coach made that call. And if that Hail Mary didn't work out, and there were expectations that it should work out, or you shouldn't even be put in the position to throw a Hail Mary, that coach or quarterback gets fired. So yes, whatever.
Bill Belichick didn't get fired. He got fired very late, but he got fired.
Who?
Bill Belichick?
No, Bill Belichick hasn't been fired. What are you talking about?
Look, all I'm saying is this: you can't put all the blame on TK. You cannot put all the blame on TK. That's
all
all I'm going to
say.
say.
The percentage of blame that he gets.
I think he gets 75%. But it doesn't get all of it. It doesn't get all of it. It just happens. I just feel like you guys are. I get that this was a botched situation that happened. It sucks for Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega, but you can't just sit there and say that the entire pay-per-view was ruined. You can't. The pay-per-view was great.
If Tony Khan, yeah, that's fine. If Tony Khan wasn't a billionaire, we'd already be under this week. But I appreciate I appreciate your 75%. I think that's at least a very respectable opinion. I am okay with that. So yeah, obviously we love AEW and we're passionate about AEW. I don't know how passionate we are around WWE or WrestleMania right now, but we have a feud that I have no idea where it's going, but I'm intrigued and I want your opinion. Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss have been going back and forth for like 2 months now.
I would say more than 2.
We set the Fiend on fire. We set the Fiend on fire. I don't know where he is. And Alexa Bliss is now the face of the Playhouse. Yeah. So, are we getting an intergender match? Like, where are we going?
So basically, it's been a weird Monday Night Raw lately, right? So it's been going on with Alexa Bliss. Playing mind games with Randy Orton. First, it was her throwing a fireball in his face and him being burned. And then we had her telling Randy Orton to light me on fire because she wanted to go with the Fiend. And then we had this whole situation where Randy Orton RKO'd her one time. And then now we're getting to the situation where Alexa Bliss is continue playing mind games, now culminating to WWE Fastlane, where they're supposedly supposed to face off. And now they haven't said there's going to be a match, but they said there's going to have a face-off.
And there's been no Fiend. There's been no Fiend anywhere.
No Fiend. So arguably, you can say that this Sunday it's going to be the Fiend returning back on WWE Fastlane.
Okay, so outside of that, I mean, I think that's where this is going. But do we like? I don't remember the last time we promoted. Honestly, since China was around, I don't remember the last time we were promoting a woman versus man match on pay-per-view.
This is the only match I'm excited for WWE Fastlane. This is the only match I care about. We have Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, which I've seen that many a times, but I'm not excited because we already know who's going to win. Roman Reigns. All these matches are just basically filler matches to get ready for WrestleMania. This is why I feel like this is why this pay-per-view is honestly meaningless. There's nothing going to be pushed forward. Nothing.
Okay. So obviously we're not excited about the card for WrestleMania.
No. And here's the thing. Are you excited? You're an edgehead. Are you excited? Your boy Edge is coming back.
That's a different conversation.
Oh, that's a different conversation.
Okay, does this push Alexa forward? Because to me, that's the real story here. Like, yeah, we're getting like an interesting feud. You know, I always feel like AJ Lee didn't get enough credit for pushing the women's division high because she main evented a lot of Raws and she like her segments main evented Raws. And Alexa is about to go in there with a WWE legend. A former WWE champion. And I don't know if there's going to be a match. I don't know if it's going to be a sketch, but does this advance her career?
Here's the issue with this storyline. It's gotten to the point where Alexa Bliss has become a catalyst to a storyline to bring back the Fiend. At the end of the day, Alexa Bliss is not going to have a WrestleMania match with Randy Orton. At the end of the day,
why?
It's not going to happen because, again, she's a catalyst for the Fiend to return on Sunday. Okay, the match is going to be...
But can she... Okay, that's what I'm trying to propose to you. I feel like Alexa Bliss was one of the strongest women's champions of all time. Like, I don't think people remember when Brock Lesnar was champion. She was like, I'm champion too. I demand respect. And she demanded it, and she was great. She took over that division. Yeah. Why can't she fight Randy Orton at WrestleMania?
Here's the issue, right? The issue is there is no logical reason why she cannot. Women, we saw it. We saw it on Monday night. I mean, on Wednesday night. Women can kick ass. Here's the problem is WWE doesn't see that logistically because they have Randy Orton and they have Alexa Bliss. Arguably, they've already built up Alexa Bliss to the point where she can already go toe-to-toe Randy Orton. Honestly, I'd rather watch that than the Fiend versus Randy Orton, but that's not going to happen. What I would do if I was booking this, I would have the Fiend not show up and actually have the Fiend almost take over or possess Alexa Bliss, where you can have the Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania, so that she could have a WrestleMania match.
Okay, so the way we're headed, what you think we're headed, what is Alexa going to do at WrestleMania then?
I think she's either going to be a chaperone or a manager for the Fiend coming up at WrestleMania.
Man, you just have her coming out next to the Fiend. That's all she's getting at WrestleMania.
What is the card looking up? We're how many weeks away now? And there's nothing there unless she goes against Asuka. But I think Asuka's going to go against Shayna Baszler.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like Alexa has transcended beyond the women's division, and that's why I mentioned China earlier. I feel like, we're playing mind games here. Why can't we do a cinematic match? We talked about Sting just had a cinematic match. Yeah. Undertaker had a cinematic match.
Yeah.
Why can't we? I just don't see any way Alexa goes back to either the women's division or anything less than taking on like big names, because this is huge, man. Like, I don't think people realize, like you said, you're excited for this on Sunday. I think it's even beyond that. I don't think I've seen any woman be put on this level since China.
And you're right. You're 100% right. But that's the issue, right? And that's what I'm saying. The way the book works in terms of the pen by Vincent Kennedy McMahon, she is a catalyst of this series.
So you have no hope. You have no hope for a cinematic match.
I have no hope. Hopefully they do have cinematic match. She shows up and actually helps the Fiend. But I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. With WrestleMania now including live fans again and everything like that, I don't see them doing a cinematic match this WrestleMania. I see them all doing the matches live in front of the crowd, and it will be Randy Orton versus The Fiend live in front of all those thousands of people, with Alexa Bliss being a chaperone.
I get it, and I want to clarify. This isn't your opinion. You are saying that WWE.
No, and again, it's not.
WWE has to book this way.
So
I get it. I feel like they and a lot of the fans are selling her short. Yeah. It blows my mind how big Alexa is at this moment without people realizing it.
And I do want to clarify that. And I want to clarify this again. I'm not saying that this is what needs to happen. I'm saying this is how the pen and paper is when it comes to WWE thing. Big Show said it best on this podcast. He went up to Vince McMahon and said, "Yo, when I was overweight and fat, I became world champion. Now that I have a 6-pack and weigh 220,
they don't do anything.
I can't be put on the card." And that's the issue with WWE. They know who they want, they know what they have, and they put them on the big screen, and that's it. And arguably, I can't disagree with what B Supreme just said. She is arguably on. She's almost at that point where China is. She's at that level. I'm excited for this match. Am I excited for Edge versus Roman Reigns anymore? Not really. I'm not an Edge head at this point. But I am excited for Alexa Bliss.
Real quick before I get to the question of the week, I almost forgot. We are getting WrestleMania in person, man. They are going to allow a capacity. I forgot the number. The number is ridiculous. The number of fans expected at the stadium is going to be more than the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to dive too much into this, but are you excited about this?
All I want to say in this scenario is please double mask. Please get vaccinated. Be your best, do your due diligence. If you're going, have fun as much as you can. Just please be safe and adhere to CDC guidelines. But we'll see what happens. I mean, we are slowly opening up. My boy Biden reached the threshold of 1,000 vaccines. So we'll see what happens. But again, I mean, even the UFC is having a full-blown event.
They are.
So it happens.
We reached the threshold of 100 million vaccines in 100 days, which is great. You're right. More people are getting vaccinated, and you're right. At some point, we have to get back to things. You're right. Let's hope everyone stays safe. We want to keep moving forward. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping everyone stays safe. I'm hoping it's a safe event. So I'm gonna cross my fingers for that.
I hope so, because NXT already got a COVID outbreak.
Yeah. Things
this
are
week.
rough,
So we'll see.
I know. I wanted to address it because it was a big news topic this week. They sent out a press release. It was huge. So
it was huge news.
We'll keep talking about this as it goes on. But it is time for the question of the week, Ace.
What it is.
we talked about the epic bloodbath that we witnessed in AEW this week.
Yes.
So I want to know, what is your favorite bloodbath, the best bloodbath in wrestling history?
It's this one, hands down. This one, the Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, in my opinion, has changed the game in women's wrestling. It is arguably the match that transcends not only men's wrestling, but wrestling as a whole. You see two women fighting to be the absolute best. And arguably, we haven't had a good feud in this last generation that deserved a good blood match, a good, a full blown.
I think that's what it is. Blood should take out, it should be the culmination of a big feud.
And that's what I'm saying, where arguably this is, I mean, you know, we had The Rock versus Austin, but they never booked a match where it would be, this is going to be a blood feud, right? We've never seen that in the Attitude Era, right? We saw that a little bit in the Aggression Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, but this is the first time that I've seen where this match deserved for it to be a lights out unsanctioned match, and it delivered because the feud needed it, and it put over a great story, and it put over two great, incredible women. So arguably, to my opinion, it is this match.
I think that's very fair. And, you know, bringing that back, Becky got big after she broke her nose, and everyone remembers that image of her, like, with a bloody nose. That made her an epic figure. I personally, I mean, obviously, we talked about the Stone Cold WrestleMania 13 match. We had a lot of great TNA matches that had some blood. I almost don't know how to categorize this, but I think the last time I witnessed so much blood to this degree was Eddie Guerrero versus JBL. When Eddie Guerrero got busted at I think it was Judgment Day, 2004, it was ridiculous. It was like he was pouring blood everywhere. Yeah. And to this day, it's one of the most like sickening like bloodbaths I've ever seen. And it stuck with me. So you're right. It should always be the culmination of a feud because you'll remember it. Like that really adds.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Because I mean, my second choice would be JBL versus John Cena when John Cena was legitimately busted. And it's a scene that always happens when he's busted open. He has a championship on it, and he looks like this, and it's a great meme now. But yeah, they're great matches, right? They had blood, but again, there's nothing significant to the match. This match you felt the reasoning for it being a blood match, for it being a bloodbath. So that's why my hat.
You're right. I remember, you know, all the Mick Foley matches with Randy Orton, and like you always remember blood. But honestly, I don't remember how long that feud was. You're completely right. I think this was like it built for like 2-3 months. Like I said, they were trying to be the face of a company, so you add more layers. I think I can't even blame you if this is your top bloodbath. I can't blame you.
Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now you tell us, what's your favorite bloodbath in the comments? Let us know. Use the hashtag Weekly Finisher on Instagram or on Twitter. Give us an @ tell us what it is, and hey, let us know. Let us
know, and also let us know what you think of all of our other discussions. I want to know if you're Team TK or your Team BK. I want to know. Anywho, hey, it's been a fun week. I hope you've had a fun week as well.
It's been a great week, a great week. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the wrap up of our show. But before we even leave, I want you guys to know you better like and subscribe to this video at Roger Talks Wrestling. Roger Talk Wrestling. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to leave a comments down below. Make sure to follow us at The Weekly Replay on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of our social media platforms. And if you're on the go, whether you're at the gym, at the car, driving home, at your way to work, wherever you are, you can listen to this show and all of our other past episodes on the podcast, where anywhere you get podcasts. That's Apple Music, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you get your podcast, we are there. So please tune in at The Weekly Finisher only on any platform you desire.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Ace, for signing us off. Thank you for all your work. Thank you guys for listening to us. Let's get out of here, Ace.
All right, y'all have a good one. Peace.
Bye.